Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Crown Euro Cars in Pinellas Park, Florida, and guess what? We have the last one. This is it, the end of the line for this particular vehicle. This is a 2020 Mercedes Benz SLC 300. But let's talk a little bit of history about the SLC. So SLC, in essence, has been around since 1994, if you could believe that. It wasn't called SLC 300, it was actually the SLK. That was back in 94. In 2016 is when Mercedes-Benz decided to switch the letters around, and that's when they created the SLC 300. Now, if you're wondering, well, what is the competitor to this car? Because you could see, very, very small car, two-seat, sports style car. This car is meant to go up against the Porsche Boxster. Of course, this would be an ultra high-end Mazda Miata Challenger, but one thing is for sure, you're gonna get the best of both worlds because you have a folding hardtop, which is gonna keep those elements out and also create a nice environment for the driver experience. But when the sun is out like it is today, you could drop that hardtop back and you're gonna get some performance that really is gonna make it a unique driving experience. Now, from 94 to 2019, they have sold over 700,000 of these two-seat little sports cars. So let's go ahead, dive in for the last time and see, really, is this a challenger to the Boxster, and is it truly a special driver's car? Right off the bat, the styling. You know it's a Mercedes-Benz. It has the unique styling features. Another thing, before I drop down, is just how low the front of this vehicle gets. Here's my knee, and here's the hood and front fascia. So we drop down, full LED lighting. So you got your LED headlights, that signature style that's becoming widespread on all the Mercedes-Benz products. Daytime running lamp, of course, also LED. You drop down and what you're gonna find is some fake vent. So I am gonna zonk this. I wish that this was like an air curtain or just something to help channel some air. It does look very aggressive though. I have to give them that. Like the gloss black on the horizontal portions, and that helps blend it in with the rest of the gloss black. But you can see how far the lip spoiler here extends on the corners. Now, as you come across that iconic grille design and also that badge, everybody knows that badge, been around for so many decades. Love the way they integrated into the grille with some nice shiny chrome, a little bit of gloss black, and then I also like the diamond, the diamond stud design that they put on the grille. Now, as you come down, you have flat black and this gloss black lip extension in the center. It really does give an aggressive look to such a small size car. Now, when you get up onto the hood, really love what Mercedes-Benz does. They take a nice body line in the center, run that about halfway into the hood, and then you're gonna have the more prominent body lines that go all the way back almost to the end of the hood. Two functional heat extractors on the hood gives it not only extra style, but you're gonna help drag some of that hot air out from underneath the hood, and also for aerodynamic efficiency as you're channeling air from the front through that engine compartment. Now, when we drop down, we're looking at this multi-spoke, beautiful wheel. It's machined. It's an 18-inch wheel. So you have your machined aluminum, gloss black. You can see the standard caliper there with your Mercedes-Benz logo, cross-drilled and fully ventilated. Now, when you look at the rotor, I just want to point out, a lot of people have commented in other reviews, what's up with all the rust? It's a steel rotor, so you are going to get surface rust with it just sitting here at the dealership, or sometimes when you wash your car and you leave your car in your driveway overnight, some rust will build up. That's just surface rust. That comes right off when you drive. Now, going into the fender, I love this body line that gets picked up. The vent looks good. It's not functional, so I am gonna zonk that. So we have two vents up front that are not functional, and then obviously the two on the sides. But I really think if this was not here, it looked a little bland, and I really like the way that they carried that body line across the top of it. Now, as we drop down, what makes this unique is you have that folding hardtop roof. This is actually a glass roof in the center, so that's really gonna allow you to have that outdoor experience even with the hood, even with the roof in place. Gloss black on the mirror caps, and you have the larger style. This is something that Mercedes-Benz has kind of moved away from, the larger style LED turning lamps in the actual mirror caps. Just a little dab of chrome to kind of match with the other chrome accents. Very clean lines though. I mean, the body lines are, there's a sharp edge, but they're so clean. I like the way that the roof kind of just drops back. And then we get to the trunk lid, you're gonna get a nice shark style antenna. I think that this extra little kick up trunk lid spoiler is just enough to give it not only some aerodynamic efficiency, but also a little bit better look. Of course, with this car being a little bit older and this being the end of the road, you have the older style taillights. They are full LED, which is really nice. Uh-oh, another fake vent. So we're gonna have to zonk that. It looks good though. So I guess we could say it's a half zonk. They look good, but they're just not functional. When you get to overall the back, you have your SL300 badge. We come down, we ready for the test? Are these exhausts functional? Yes. So you have your decorative brushed aluminum on both sides, and there are actual tips behind that. And a very, very simple diffuser with just a touch, just a sprinkling of gloss black helps connect the whole car from front to back. But why don't we go ahead, pop the hood and see what's powering this SLC 300. All right guys, we got the hood popped. Actually quite a large hood because of the proportions of this SLC 300. Now what you're looking at underneath that hood is gonna be a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, 241 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque. It's all mated through a 9-speed automatic transmission. The car weighs around 3,384 pounds and can do 0 to 60 in about 5.7 seconds. MPGs, not too shabby. 23 in the city, 32 on the highway. I'll be honest, it's going to be sad to see this car disappear. It's one of those things that it's nice to have options, and it would have been nice to see all that fancy technology and dash setup that Mercedes Benz is using in their other products wind up in this vehicle. I'm hoping that they will create something to go up against that 718 Porsche 718 Boxster. Underneath the hood, it's tasteful, nothing too much to write home about, but at least it's just not plastic everywhere. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the interior and see how nice this SLC 300 is. All right guys, we're inside the 2020 SLC 300. Remember, what makes this car so special is not only its proportions. Like there's not many cars like this available on the market anymore, but it's this folding hardtop that really just knocks out of the park. Now to get to the switch, you actually lift this guy up right here. This is your palm rest for your direct drive control knob here. You lift that up and it's a real simple process. We're just going to push, and then you're gonna see the top is gonna go ahead, open up the back area. Very seamless in its transition, and it's actually on the faster side, which is nice. And what I love about it is that nice finished off. You get a little chime to let you know it's closed. I like the speedster look, especially the way they got the roll hoops behind the driver and passenger seat. Now I know you're probably saying, well Joe, this looks like a lot of top-down fun. I could also drive it every day and have the hardtop up. How much is it? The way that this one is optioned is right around $62,000. Let's see what you get for the money. Now the door panels, I love what's going on. Even though there's a lot of dark material, I love that red contrast stitching. One area where it's very dated is that walnut wood trim. Not really digging that walnut wood trim. You do get 3 memory settings for the passenger, and this one has the extra Harman Kardon sound system, the optional sound system. Plus you have a nice little pocket there for your German Twinkies, which is really good. Dash is a soft material. I've always, and you could watch my other Mercedes-Benz reviews, always loved their AC vents. Very, very aeronautical. Even the little silver touches that they put on the glove box, this is definitely gonna show its age right here. So when we get to the infotainment system, you have a very small, it's about a 6-inch screen size. It is color, and you can see it's showing our SLC 300, but it is very small, and that's where it's gonna get dated. Now this does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is a nice touch. The walnut wood, I'm zonking, we need to get rid of that. This is another area, very, very dated. Now to bring up your car features, you actually hit this button and that's what you get. And then you could go through, by twisting the knob, we could go into dynamic select and you could adjust the different parameters of what's going on with the engine, how you want the steering and all that, comfort, obviously sport, all that good stuff. Now you do have heated seats, or just a heated headrest, which is nice. No ventilated seats. I love the start-stop button, nice brushed aluminum start-stop button. And then here, once again, you can see where Mercedes-Benz kind of let this car sit by the wayside while all the other Mercedes-Benz vehicles get a nice updated system here. It is dual climate, it's just very dated, but this type of car is disappearing. Obviously, this being the last year, very, very unique car. And I think people who want this car are going to be willing to put up with this dated information here. Now, to open this up, you just push down. You do have an ashtray and a 12 volt here. I wouldn't use that for an ashtray because I don't smoke, so I would just put some Skittles in there. Nice little emergency setup, and then just keep it closed. This is going to control that 9-speed automatic transmission. I do like the way they took the SLC and put it in the leather. The silver trim is really nice. Here's that direct drive knob controller. So if you look, I hit back, you could go into your Navi, you hit down, you got to wait a few seconds for it to do its magic. I don't know how long I'm willing to wait, but it does have navigation. You just have to wait. It does not have a memory card, so I promise you navigation is there, though. You can take my word. Hit the vehicle setting again, and that gets you into all those different setups. When it comes to key fob, there's your older style Mercedes-Benz key fob with the chrome finish. I do like the way that they put the logo smack dab there. And this is a nice sliding cover, so that is a very nice touch. Underneath here were the controls for the top. Soft on the leather, which I'm impressed, because sometimes these German cars, it's like hard as a rock. Lift it up, you have some felt lining, so you could actually take 2, 4, 6, I would say 6 Snickers bars, and you could put them in there so you're never getting hangry. 2 USBs, which is a welcoming, and then the seats, comfortable, and they look great. The red stitching really sets it off nicely. You have the heat on the back of your neck so that you don't get chilly on those cold winter mornings when you want to go for a drive with the top down. You do have the nice bright red seat belts, and then of course all the seat controls are going to be on the door right over here for all of your electric assist to get the seat to fit you perfect. But it's got a nice size bolstering going on the side here. The bottom is a little low, but I think most people are going to like this setup because it's very easy to get in and out, and it's very comfortable. Well, why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this SLC 300. All right, guys, business time. Like I was saying, you have your seat controls mounted high up on the door, which is especially nice in a smaller car like this. I do like the nice aluminum trim that they have here with the Mercedes-Benz logo. One of my favorite things, I don't care what Mercedes-Benz I'm sitting in, one of my favorite things about the brand are the amazing steering wheels. This steering wheel looks like it's out of a race car. Flat bottom, nice thickness. The red stitching is so beautiful. You do have paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go up and down that 9-speed automatic transmission. Tasteful horn button, and the other buttons on the actual steering wheel are flat black, so you don't have to worry about fingerprints and whatnot. Dash, very, very simple layout. You got your tach, your speedometer, and then you have that digital display there in the center where you can actually toggle through different information. And this is the older setup in Mercedes-Benz world. They've really updated what they're doing with their dash and whatnot. But as you can see, 6 feet tall. I had the top up. You know, my head was not hitting the inside of the roof. Love looking out over the hood. Why don't we check out the trunk and see, is this really usable as a daily driver? All right, guys, time to check out what kind of room we have in the trunk. Now, the challenge sometimes with these smaller cars is if you're gonna use it as a daily driver, you really don't have much of a trunk, or if you're gonna use it as that weekend getaway car, you really have to wear all your clothes that you're taking for the trip on your body. It's sort of like those people that don't want to bring a carry-on onto a plane, so they just put all their clothes on and just get on the plane. But when you open up the trunk, you're gonna have to use your muscles. You just lift up the trunk lid. Actually, quite a bit of room. You could easily put 2 carry-on luggage bags back here. Obviously, we have the top up. Let me show you how the space changes. Now, if you want to do that weekend getaway and you want to have the top down the whole time, let me show you what is going to happen. So we're going to take this cover here, drop it down. What this is going to do is this is going to allow for the trunk, for the roof to not be folded back. But when the roof is folded back, this is how much space basically you are left with. Now, you don't have the height, but you still have a pretty good amount of width. I would say probably if you bring 1 large luggage bag and put both people's clothes in it, I think you'd be good to go. But definitely with that raise, you have a ton of room here. But let's get to the best part of this SLC 300. Even though it's disappearing after 2020, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this car for a spin. We're in the 2020 SLC 300. This is it. This is the final year of production. Should you jump on one of these if you've been wanting something that's a two-seat sports car, especially one, like I said, with a folding hardtop? It really is an interesting car, to say the least. Let's see how she accelerates on the throttle. Remember that inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. 0 to 60 in around 5.7 seconds is respectable for this kind of car. I do have it set into sport mode with steering set up in sport mode as well. So you actually could adjust either the engine, what mode it's in, but also the steering as well. It has a nice weight to it, and I think one thing that Mercedes Benz does that's awesome with their cars is the steering wheel. The steering wheel on this SLC 300 is right on the money for perfect thickness and just overall feel of the materials. I think the thing that I'm liking right off the bat is you don't feel cramped. Even though this car is small, you don't feel cramped. Let's go ahead and get on throttle. I just have it in automatic mode right now. Shifts are fairly smooth, and what's nice to report back to you is that wind noise is not too bad in here. You know, sometimes with these folding hardtops, even though they're solid, because of the different pieces, you're gonna get wind that's able to get past the seals, but this thing really has a nice sealed off section and feel. Is it like a hardtop? No, but it's definitely less wind noise than a cloth top, that's for sure. Visibility out over the hood, I really like. It's got a classic feel to it, a rear wheel drive, longer hood feel to it, and I'm actually personally really digging that. We're gonna see how she handles through some twisty bits here. I'm gonna shift with the paddle. So right now I have it in manual mode, and we're going through the different gears here. I'm in 5th, down to 4th, back up to 5th, on throttle. On the brakes, downshift from 4th to 3rd. Here we go, nice turn in. Very compliant, very confidence inspiring. It handles really well. There's not a ton of body roll, which is great. Into this right-hand bend. Kind of just hunkers down and does the business, which I really like. There's no drama. Is it as aggressive as a Porsche 718? I'm gonna say no. I think that there's still a definitive gap between the 718 Boxster and this Mercedes Benz SLC 300. And I think a lot of it just goes to that this car has not been refreshed really in a very long time, especially when it comes to the overall performance of the vehicle. All right, guys, one last time. I'm gonna do, like I said, manual mode. We're in 2nd gear, 1st gear, on throttle. Here we go. You do get some very interesting noise coming from the engine on the brakes into this right-hand bend. It's a very comfortable car, and I think that's where it could use a little bit more body stiffness to the chassis. I think we need some body bracing to it to kind of stiffen it up front to rear. It gets a little bouncy, and there's a little bit of flex, a little bit more flex than what I would really want in a 2-seat sports car, especially if I'm going to try to carve some corners. But still a fun car to drive, and definitely something that if you want to be unique, this car, you don't see them very often. And there's a plethora of different reasons for that, but this is it. 2020 is it for this model, and it's going to be interesting to see what Mercedes-Benz, if they're going to replace it with something. But we're going to go ahead. Hopefully this gave you an overall feel of it. I think the bottom line is it just feels dated in here, and that's where I'm going to have to zonk it. But for driving experience, I think this could really give you the right experience if that is what you're looking for, a convertible hardtop and 2 seats. But we're gonna get back to Crown Euro Cars to wrap this up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day here at Crown Euro Cars. I definitely got to thank Nicole, Greg, and the rest of the crew getting us access to this 2020 SLC 300. This is it, the final year, it's disappearing. Is it a competitor against the Boxster? If it was my money, I would probably go the Boxster route, but it is always nice to have options. And for somebody who maybe doesn't want to just go the Miata route, but wants a little bit more out of their overall experience luxury-wise, then this really could be that perfect fit. But if it's cars like these driving enthusiast style cars that you want to see on Ready to Rise, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ready to Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click that link in the description. Get yourself some Ready to Rise merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee, Tom Motioner, working that camera like a champ, getting this car from every angle. Thank you, Tom, for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.